Hello, my name is Marv Pineda, and today I will be doing a persuasive speech on invasive species and biodiversity. Many places within the United States are at risk of unwanted intruders and destruction of natural habitats and threat of biodiversity. Today, the environmental issue that we face is because of these unregulated invasive species, because they can affect our local landscapes and drain our natural resources. I've done extensive research on this topic by researching our local and national wildlife, including the top contributors to the decline of biodiversity within our local and coast-to-coast geographical region. During this speech, I'll be going through declining animal populations, plant and animal populations, and lastly, what we can do to help as citizens. First, I will start off about what an invasive species is and what kind of effect it poses on society. The invasive species can simply be defined as an organism that causes ecological or economical harm to a new environment where it is not native. These plants and animals can both harm natural resources and the human use of those resources. Even exotic and household pets can cause the eradication of many populations. According to the ecology of freshwater fish, and the household pet goldfish is one of the world's most invasive aquatic species, completely devastating the natural ecosystem due to their exponential growth and consumption of food. Here in our home state, the small zebra mussels invaded our beaches. These small species of mussels have jagged side edges sharp enough to cut the feet of our children and even clog up water intake pipes, which greatly increase the cost of maintenance for water treatment plants and power plants. But on the other side of America, in the sunshine state of Florida, reptilian pets have taken over and are threatening all wildlife. The Burmese python and the green iguana were common house pets in Florida, but irresponsible pet owners released their pets into the wild without knowing the severe consequences that would follow. Due to the green iguana's aggressive behavior and the python's size and population growth, these animals have become some of the apex predators within the Everglades and are continuing to wreak havoc on the natural balance of these ecosystems. There's nothing to regulate these animals, so they dominate at an alarming scale. Now that I've talked about the different types of invasive species within our communities and nationally, I will now talk about their effects on our economy and the ecological issues themselves. These unwelcome visitors do a lot of damage to the way we live and vice versa. If we're not careful about protecting our natural biodiversity, we wouldn't be able to see some of the animals that we see today. You may be wondering how a small population of foreign animals or plants can affect our way of living in such a big way. But in 2010 to 2020, an invasive forest pathogen called the sudden oak death was projected to cost over $7.5 million in tree treatment, removal, and replacement costs. And corresponding to all this cost it added up to $135 million in loss of local residential properties in California. U.S. agriculture takes a huge hit from losses of up to $13 billion from invasive insects such as the vine mealybug. Sometimes we don't even know that we are contributing to the invasive species crisis. The goldfish is often the first pet parent gives to a child, but that saying, it's also one of the most that commonly dies and is flushed down the toilet. Which is the reason why these fishes go out into our ecosystems. Or the house cat, which has the ability to stray from the homeowner's house, populate and mingle, and destroy bird populations. There are many ways that to control these invasive species in our own backyard. One universally great method is cleaning your equipment after activities in a foreign place. For example, fishing and boating activities. After activities, you clean your boat and using proper baits so they don't feed off of others. You verse yourself in local plant life and animal life so you know what is what is hurting our environment and what's benefiting our environment. States can even have a hand in this. States can order, or state governors can order hunting orders to eradicate certain populations of animals to reduce the effect of their thing. For example, the state of Florida has recently declared an open season order on the green iguana because of the numbers that have recently exploded. The government's encouraging these homeowners to kill them and even paying them to kill them. This will directly help the situation in Florida and preserve the local wildlife and promote biodiversity. In conclusion, the threat of mass extinction due to these invasive species is very present, and they are very costly to our environment. They pose ecological and economical damage and need the intervention of society. Now that I've gone through the environmental issues of unregulated invasive species, their effects on local and national landscapes, as well as how a citizen like you can protect and help your biodiversity within your community, in order to reduce the amount of invasive species within our communities, we must be aware of the little things like cleaning our clothes or not releasing our pets out into the wild can help lower the spread of these ecosystem destroyers. If the number of invasive animals continues to grow, then the devastation of these exotic animals will come to the end, and many of our favorite animals and plants will suffer because of it. If we are not careful, we may not be able to share the experience of biodiversity with our future generations, and we must act now. Thank you.